I don't know about you, but I always enjoy being here at the Biblioteca. Look around you, you know, a wonderful building. For over 65 years, the Biblioteca has been a central hub for this community. It provides space for community and social gatherings, a place to enjoy a wonderful breakfast, coffee, and to read your Atención, and to host all kinds of entertainment, both here and in the theater. The library hosts one of the largest collections of English, Spanish books in Mexico, has thousands of books that you can read, borrow, and they even have a few for purchase in the tienda. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome two speakers from the Biblioteca that will give us information on the background of this wonderful building and also background on the murals, the lovely murals that are all over this building. I've often wondered, haven't you, of who painted this and what are the stories behind these murals? First, Marie Muebes. Did I say that right? Close enough. She is the fundraising chairman of the Biblioteca. She spends her time raising money to make sure all of the activities and the programs keep on running here. And she's fulfilling the library's mission. She believes that the Biblioteca is a fundamental tool to build our community. And an aside, she and her husband also own the Yam Gallery in the Instituto, a wonderful gallery. Stop on by. We have Carmen Rioja. She is a writer and an artist specializing in the restoration of historical and archaeological collections and participated in decades with the restoration of Atotonilco in Cañada, get my Spanish right, Cañada, out in the Campo. She has served for vice president of the Biblioteca since 2020 and has been a volunteer here since 2010 as secretary of the board. If that wasn't enough, she's an overachiever. She's currently the editor-in-chief of the Atención. We all know the Atención. We welcome both of you today. Please come and share with us more about the Biblioteca.
Buenos días. Bienvenidos a la Biblioteca. Good morning and welcome to the Biblioteca. So my name is Marie Moebius, very well pronounced. I'm French, so excuse my French accent. I'll do my best to be understandable. This is really, really a great pleasure that the Rotary Club is meeting here at the Biblioteca. We are all thrilled here to have you at the Biblioteca. So before Carmen give you more explanation about the mural of that beautiful room, La Sala Quetzal, the Quetzal room, I just want to give you a little background about what is the Biblioteca. So first, a little historical background. How did the Biblioteca happen? In 1952, a Canadian citizen, Helen Wale, decided just to open the doors of her house here downtown San Miguel to the kids and their parents of the people of her street and let them in and just enjoy her magazine and books collection inside her house. And actually it became extremely successful. And in a very few months, a group of citizens just like you and me gather and push the effort to open a real library. And so it's in 1958 that the governor of the state of Guanajuato gave to the Biblioteca this space. 1958, imagine, it's a long time ago. The Biblioteca back then was not a biblioteca, it was the slaughterhouse of San Miguel de Allende. Before that, at the very beginning of the building, this building was dedicated to host women in difficulties. It was like un hospicio. So this is where the Biblioteca began its mission, and this is where we still are. Of course, the building has changed a lot. Actually, where we are right now, this part of the building, as well as the theater that we have here in our back, was not part of the Biblioteca until the 90s, okay? So this is the story of how the Biblioteca was began. So what is the mission of the Biblioteca? I would like to say that we are called the Biblioteca, the library, but we are much more than books. Nowadays, the mission of the Biblioteca is to provide educational and cultural activities to foster a harmonious community. We all know that San Miguel is diverse. There are people from all ages, from all walk of life. It is sometimes also a very unequal society. The Biblioteca wants to gather those very diverse population around the pleasure of knowledge, around the pleasure of cultural practice, around the pleasure of reading, around the pleasure of just going to the theater. And I think that the Biblioteca really manages to welcome everyone, whether they're Mexican or foreigners like me, like some of you, whether they're young or older, etc. So this is what we envision. We want to be that cultural center for everyone to be very welcome around cultural matters. I don't know about you, but as for myself, when I was a kid, I would often go to the local library. I mean, this is really an experience that forged my life. Maybe it's your case. Maybe you love reading. Maybe you enjoy movies or theater. I'm sure that the Biblioteca has something to do in our life. Each one of us can enjoy the services of the Biblioteca. So what do we do exactly? We do more than just lending books. We have 4 big main programs. First, of course, the literacy program. We are a center for everyone to find information and enjoy reading. So, by the way, if you don't know that, inside our patio, we have free available Wi-Fi for everyone. So you can just come with your computer or with your whatever electronic device and enjoy free Wi-Fi. Many people do enjoy that place because there are not many places like that in San Miguel where you can spend a few hours working. We are working actually now to make the Wi-Fi available in all of the rooms of the Biblioteca. So soon we will be able to provide the service to more people. And then, of course, we have our amazing collection of books. It is bilingual. It is a huge example in Mexico. I mean, that collection of books is absolutely outstanding. It is dividing now between the books in English, the books in Spanish, and the books for kids. So come and enjoy the rooms. And if you want to take a few books home, you will just have to get your membership. It's only 100 pesos yearly. So it's very affordable, and it allows you to take 4 books home for a period of 1 month. So that's the program dedicated to literacy and information. And then we have a program of learning at the Biblioteca. We do believe that cultural practice is as important as academic learning. Singing is as important as math. So we have a children chorus, we have guitar classes, we have piano classes that are given here in the Sala Quetzal. We have art classes, etc., etc. By the way, we also give a few technical skills classics such as English as a foreign language and computer science. There is another very important program, which is the scholarship program. And we talked about that last time with Bill and Catherine Graham, who are running a fundraising campaign to help finance that program. It is an extremely important program with a huge impact. It's been more than 20 years that the Biblioteca gives scholarships to students in San Miguel. Around 100 students are granted each year by the scholarship program of the Biblioteca. So we give financial help to students from preparatoria, high school, and university. They're really talented students who can't always afford studying at school. We help them with money, but also with mentorship. I've had the amazing opportunity to interview a few of them during the selection process that we held every year. Man, those kids are really amazing. They're very talented and they have a strong, extremely strong willpower. By the way, several of you here in the Rotary have decided to help finance this program through the Gift of the Year campaign held by Catherine and Bill Graham. Thank you so much. Thanks to the Rotary Club, we have 6 full-year scholarship. Thank you so much. Great. And then the last big service, big program that we held here at the Biblioteca is cultural and artistic entertainment. This room, as well as the beautiful theater we have here on my back, those rooms are dedicated to that program. Whoever wants to give a conference, whoever wants to read poetry, whoever wants to sing, dance, or make theater is welcome to use our premises and entertain our community. So this is an important program that has been run since the opening of the theater in the 90s. And we're very proud to be the place for the artists of San Miguel to showcase their talent. Just a few words about the way we get organized here. We are an asociación civil, una donataria autorizada. So we are an NGO. And as you know, because there are so many in San Miguel, we're very lucky. San Miguel is a town where social asociaciones civiles are helping in so many different ways. But we have a mesa directiva, we have a board of directors, and then an executive director, and we have a staff of 24 people. Nothing would be possible without the help of the volunteers. Right now, we have about 50 volunteers working for the Biblioteca, and they help in so many different ways. Some give classes, others help us with the tours that we organize. Other help with the organization of the staff. And here I want to make a special link to my friends Debra and Carmen, because of course the main volunteers of the Biblioteca, the members of the board, you have no idea how much they work, and they're really dedicating their life to the Biblioteca. So thank to them. And generally, really thank to anyone who volunteers for any kind of organization here in San Miguel. That job is really important. I'd like to say a few words about how we get the money, because this is what I do. I'm the fundraising manager here. And I know that the Rotary knows about fundraising. You know how difficult it is. And you are always wondering how to make fundraising more efficient for the different programs you have. You know that the Biblioteca has different social enterprises. We used to run the Atención San Miguel. Not anymore. The Atención San Miguel is now operated by someone else, yet good news. If the Atención San Miguel makes good result, they do help Biblioteca. So keep buying your Atención San Miguel every week. This is a great way to help the Biblioteca. We also have the tienda at the entry, and we have the tours, the house and garden tours that are still running. And we have the theater also helps fundraising for the Biblioteca. And then, of course, there are the individual donations. By the way, I want to give a little information that might help understanding how fundraising has to be organized every poco a poco. The average individual donation amount for the Biblioteca is $100. I've heard in many cases people thinking that the Biblioteca is receiving millions, maybe from, I don't know, God, or I have no idea. The truth is that many people are giving just a little bit money, and this is really how it goes. So thank to all of them. But I think it's interesting to understand that. It's interesting to understand that every penny counts. Then, of course, we have corporation help sometimes, or we apply to grants from governments or private foundations. And we also receive in-kind donations, and people don't often think about it, but it's a great way to help any organization. In-kind donations are important. So what is the impact of the Biblioteca? It's been 69 years that we've been around. We are one of the oldest NGO in town. The Biblioteca is 2,000 square meters dedicated to culture and education. I don't know in feet how much it means, but I mean, look at the building, it's kind of amazing. We have 1,000 members subscribing to our, getting their membership, people who enjoy our different services. We give 500 hours of free classes every year. We benefit 18,000 persons in 2021. Whether they are students granted by our scholarship program, or they're readers of the Biblioteca, or they come from classes, 18,000 persons of the Biblioteca, our community benefits our services. And we have 5,000 people visiting our, enjoying some kind of show at the theater. So this is who we are. And I would like to say that when I hear the Rotary members talk about your mission, what you do, I think we have so much in common. We really think about the good for everyone, the better good for everyone, and I'm really thrilled that you're here now, gathering at the Biblioteca. Thank you so much. I will now leave the mic to the Vice President of the Biblioteca, Carmen Rioja. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Later, I share, because I cannot stand up for a long time. Would you mind if I take the share? It's perfect. Sí. Thank you. So, yeah, whenever you're ready. First of all, thank you and welcome. We are very thrilled, and we have our hopes, and we are actually my companions at the board of La Biblioteca, that the Rotary and La Biblioteca, as Marie said, have a natural bond. And that natural bond, it's our mission, that is to try to get knowledge access to the most people possible, coming from all of the diversity of the world, and most in a community like ours in Allende that has such a diversity. And it's a challenge to communicate these diverse ideologies, but it's the way to find how to consensus for a better future for everyone, how to be integrated. So I am very happy because this is not only a welcome to a board meeting of yours, but also it is already an ethos, something that is going to be remembered the day that La Biblioteca and the Rotary get boyfriend and girlfriend, let's say. So La Biblioteca, as Marie said, has so many wonderful accomplishments, but also challenges. And the economic times and the struggle that we just had in 2020 because of pandemic, it was really unbelievable and of a magnitude that we couldn't believe, because for those 2 years, the library had to just crash in their funds to, and it's still with a debt because it has to pay all the huge nomina of this great staff that is in charge of allowing the people to go into the rooms to read the books. It's giving counseling, the people that cleans, the people that attends the scholarships, the teachers of the scholarships. We help 100 scholarships every year until they graduate. So we are very happy. And one of the programs that we want to embrace is the community integration. And for that, we have a few tools. One of those is the art itself and the book collection itself that will bring people, like this mural that I'm going to give you a small short explanation, but also the newspaper. The newspaper is a community tool that can bring us a voice or also a meeting point where to have a dialogue. Many times you will find in the community newspaper that there are different points of view in the same edition. We may have a Democratic and a Republican talking in the same, and sometimes I will get phone calls and complaining, how do you publish that other thinking? I said, we are a plural, and I am not the one to judge. So in a way, this is part of the culture of the building. I believe, because I am an art restorer and I worked so many years in, let's say, at Totonilco, the sanctuary, the chapels and the pyramids and other buildings here in town that hold mural paintings, that the building, that when it's so old, it has their own language and it has their own life. It is talking to us. It holds a history, but to listen and to read that history, it can be a little bit difficult or challenging. Why? Because sometimes we see a mural like this and we kind of get the general idea, the picture, but to go deep on it, we need to learn to read, just as we learn to read when we are children. And that's why the library, it's so important in our community. And that's why we really needed to learn. And not only the words, but the paintings, art, the cultural, the dance. Do you know how to read the Otomi dance? It's kind of difficult, but it has a language. We had an interview last week of an Indian musician that performed at Angela Peralta, and he teaches how to read the sounds and interpret it. There are words in the drum. And I didn't know. So we hold that kind of experience here at Teatro Santana to teach ourselves to read, and different languages. It's not the same language that Otoni girl from one of these wonderful communities that you go and help, that the language that a northern girl will talk, because I grew in the desert. So I come from a different Indian tribe, and we know the desert, but the people of the jungle speaks different language. So the mural, if you want to go, Diego, please, to the next. I am going to go forward a little bit fast to the biography of the author of this one. David Leonardo, it's an artist that has many years living in San Miguel de Allende. He's originally from Mexico City, and he is quite young. And he has a gallery, an art gallery, and he paints a mural painting as well as pintura de caballete, that's canvas. He is very accomplished. Look at this pintura de caballete. We have to learn first what we are painting in small formats to understand the artist's way, where it comes from in order to do this mural. Well, first in this kind of painting, he had to learn a lot of composition and how the composition then you have to fragment in little pieces to recompose and redesign every little piece and then make a unit. So it looks chaotic at the first moment. If you go, how many of you have been in Atotonilco? Oh, good. So you may find familiar the way that you feel when you enter. You kind of feel overwhelmed. And it's very difficult to understand which is the axe of the message, right? Well, to understand that, we first need to understand how the mural painters divide the space. The space is the first thing. In this canvas, you have only 2 dimensions, but here you have 3 dimensions, maybe more because language is another one. The meaning, it becomes into a 4th dimension, okay? So please, next, Diego. You can see here the other example. This one, it's a mural painting of the same author, David Leonardo, that is Instituto Allende, one of the very small halls of Instituto Allende. This has 4 walls. We are only seeing one of the perspectives. I hope you can go and visit. But you will see that he divided the space to make a point. In this example, he has a dance of the bodies. It's an interpretation of very erotic, festive flowers all around, and it's a very joyful painting. But let's see the next one. This one, it's also at the Instituto Allende. David Leonardo painted here a scene that represents the history of the independence in Mexico. If you go, this is again only 2 dimensions, right? It's flat. If you go to see the main scene, you will see the cura, the priest, Miguel Hidalgo, that it's in his horse, together with Ignacio Allende, that is in the upper side of the mural painting. And they are fighting for the independence of the Mexicans, right? And then you can see a lot of shorter scenes, and every scene, it's a story. It represents a narrative of the independence war or of the history of Mexico. Please, Diego, can you go to the next one? This is the fragment of the same painting. You can see the Spanish conquers. This is what I mean. It goes to the past. It goes to the past, and you can understand there the conquer war. Go to the next, Diego, please. Now we have here at La Biblioteca Pública, next, Diego, 2 very large mural paintings. This photo is of the process of Tesoro's shop mural painting. Next. And finally, we will get here to Sala Quetzal. Oh, this is the past meeting of the Rotary. Next one. This is something that I want you to see to understand the segmentation of the space. This is a Totonilco, and it's an 18th century. So these are the predecessors, the teachers where David Leonardo learned He comes from a large tradition. You don't have an artist like that just magically. We have to understand the struggle, the learning, and how much he had to learn. Next, please. These are details inside the composition. And you can see again how short things will get a big meaning, large meaning. Siguiente. Narrative is what we call that. This is another thing. They use lines to divide the space, and these lines will guide us how to read. Sometimes we need to find the guide of the lines to understand. Next, please. And the decoration, have you heard about fractals, where big spaces subdivide into small spaces for more meaning? Next, patterns. And the drawings, finally, that are figurative. You can see in the back of David Leonardo how he wrote. Next, please. We are here at Sala Quetzalcoatl, El Sol Eterno, which is above this chimney. At the very top, you will see the sun. That is Quetzalcoatl, and it has 4 sides, the north, the south, the east, and the west. And that character is going to be repeated in many other moments in the painting. And from the top of Quetzalcoatl to down, if you go, you will see the triangle line. Can you see the lines? Perfect. So that you can understand now that it's a pyramid. And behind the pyramid, into the distance, there are small pyramids in the back. So that what it tells us is that it is the most important pyramid of Quetzalcoatl. He is in the top, and the city of Tenochtitlan, it's in the back. And in the same way, you can read the left wall now and the right wall. But there are differences because, next, please. I am just giving you the code for you to later walk, okay? This is the main meaning of this mural painting. He wanted to represent all the original cultures in one room. What a big task. It was almost impossible. But he found that with all of the archaeologists and anthropologists, the different cultures of Mexico, most of them will have the same axe that is the Rosa de los Vientos, the 4 rumbos they call, is the 4 ways of the land, north, west, east, and south. And each side, it will have a special meaning and a specific god. For example, we are seeing Quetzalcoatl. The sun, if you have an orientation of right now, the east is right there, is where the sun rises every morning in San Miguel. And in San Miguel, the west is in that side, is where the sun goes down. So our cultures in Quetzalcoatl are very based in the sun observation, the moon, and Venus. And this is not because they were superstitious. This is because they were mathematicians that were understanding the 4 seasons of the year. And when the sun gets a little bit late, it means that it's time for the harvest or it's going to start raining. They were very smart. So in our backwards, we have the representation of the sun again, but it's a triumphant sun. It is the god of Huitzilopochtli, that it has a different meaning. It means the death, but also the triumph. It means the war, but also the force. And Quetzalcoatl is more like the water, the born of the plants. And there are many other things that you will find here that are very interesting. The last one that I'm going to point to you is the ladder serpents hidden in this wall. If you see the line here, it's multiple lines and are curved lines. And those curved lines will fall from the top to the bottom. This one, for example, just next to me, it goes to the infra world. The infra world is the after death, and it's called the Tzompansli, and is where the spirit goes after death and it gets renewed. So you see that you will find many beautiful, also the celebration of the motherhood and the fertility in the back corner of the right where Marie is. This is an example of how from one mother you have different cultures being born and in a lineage, right? And if you want to find very specific names or the wonderful cultures that we have in Mexico, you just have to find the numbers in the map. You will understand where they live. And I welcome you to La Biblioteca again, and thank you for being all part of this mission. We are very happy and triggered, and I want to thank Debra Broussard, our president at the board at the library, for also being here with us. Thank you, Debra, and we are here to serve you. Welcome.